To social media and you see a lot of conversations about everything, and you're like, what in the world is going on? And the first thing you see is, wait, two new social media apps? I am so tired. So if you're one of those entrepreneurs where you're like, okay, but I want to join the bandwagon, what is it? Why should I join it? Like, I'm really tired. Like, I need something that will actually tell me and make a difference for me to join the social media app. This is the video for you. I'm going to dive into what Threads is and some facts about it and some facts about social media, as well as how you can use it for your personal brand. So if this is your first time seeing or hearing me, my name is Zakira, and I am a creative brand strategist. And so I help BIPOC and marginalized entrepreneurs to build their brand, tell their story confidently while being innovative and being not being overwhelmed by social media. So this video is mainly going to serve as like an overview video, um, overview and just my tips, my observations. But this is not going to tell you how to use it because that's why I have strategy clients. I would take one-on-one strategy sessions to really kind of walk you through it and especially tweak it so that it aligns with your brand. So speaking of branding, yes, yet another social media app. And one of the things that I have always preached to previous clients is to at least know how to use all of them, right? Because there are different stages of entrepreneur. There's the entrepreneur that is just starting out, but then there's the entrepreneur that has been consuming and now they're ready to create and monetize, or there's the entrepreneur that they've been doing it for so long the old school way, when they had brick and mortar offices, or they started off with Facebook and are okay with Facebook and what is the rest of this stuff, or they started off with direct mailing cards, they're okay with where they are. So, um, who's Threads for? Threads is actually for anyone who, well, this is just my observation. I've only now this is being recorded July 7th. The app officially launched July 5 on both Android and iPhone. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to get into it because I have an older Samsung Android, but I was in it, and so I was able to see who's all there, how it works, and my first observation is okay. Here we go. It's a full circle moment. I read it in Gary Vee's book. I probably heard him mention it in his, one of his short clip videos. But at some point in the new millennium, there's gonna be one social media platform that's gonna be for all of the things. And I believe I saw it in 2020. I think the very first I saw it. I think 2020. Probably before that, but I definitely saw it in 2020 when uh, all Facebook and Instagram shut down. Now, Facebook, now known as Meta, bought Instagram, and then now Thread is basically a Twitter, and so Twitter is was formed in 2009, I believe, and it was just text based. It started off with just text based, like a text message, like your headline in your newspapers, um, and before it began to kind of tweak and to include all forms of media. And what I like about Threads is that it includes all forms of media. It's still simple and user friendly. Um, to the point where okay you want to just say something, say a short tidbit of whatever's on your mind, say that. You want to speak in a video and say it in the video, you have 5 minutes to do that. You want to just speak in photos, let the photo speak for itself, you can use 10 photos to do that. So it's really just been a full circle moment of combining all of the social media apps that we've been on, whether it was, the variation of TikTok before Reels, whether it was the variation of Snapchat before Snapchat. And for me, the easiest resemblance is Tumblr. Although I was on Facebook, uh, I probably started in 2009. I think I started on Facebook I saw one of the threads that said, we've been social media hopping from uh, other social media network every 2 years for the last 20 years. I'm tired, boss. So I get it, but it's just pivoting. That's one of the most important things, especially if you are a entrepreneur or striving to be an entrepreneur, to be able to pivot and not just be like, I don't want to. Like I can understand slowly but surely joining bandwagons. Like for me, I don't join bandwagons. I did not join Spill. I did not join Blue Sky. I did not join Mastodon. One because I'm an Android user, but also because I'm like I'm very in tune into what's the projection going to look like, right? So um yeah, it's really the all-in-one social media app where you can say what you need to say through any creative means that you are most comfortable with. And I really appreciate the fact that I could see who's all there. Like there's people that I remember from in-person events that I've either spoken at or produced or attended. And then of course it's because it's all connected, right? I think a lot of times how we grow our social medias initially is like, hey, whoever you're already connected with, your friends, your family, your associates, hey, I'm on this platform, follow me at this handle, right? And so the brilliant part about it is that it's already connected to your Instagram profile. If you already have an Instagram, it's already connected to your Instagram profile. So you don't have to do anything. Um, but bef- before just jumping on and saying, "Oh, for real, that's so simple. Let me go ahead and join it." Now, I'm big on personal branding, and I'm also big on consistency. So one of the first things that I did do was I want to make sure that my links are working. The link, because here's the thing that you can feature in your bio that you can also import from Instagram is your name. Is it your first name? Is it who you serve on there? And then your short bio, which is, I believe, no more than 25 characters, your help statement. Who do you help and how do you help them? Um, and and then your link, like, is it going to send you, are you going to send people to a link if they were to click on it? Are you going to send people to a link that will give them the 5 things about you, like who you are, who you serve, where you've been featured, how you serve them, and maybe one other thing like the other social media network or something like that. So definitely make sure that that's all up to par. Now, the next thing is the first message that you sent. Like, I'm a part of this. I'm just bouncing off of what everybody else has been saying on the app, which is very relatable. Some of them say it feels like the first day of school all over again, which makes sense because we're all just kind of, hey, I'm here, and my name is this, and then I like this, and I like that. And so that's really how it starts off. Like your first message on there, your first I'm still calling it a tweet. Your first thread should really be about, "Hi, my name is, and I like these things." So I think for me, I'm really right now just kind of it's serving as music, all things music related for me. I'll share my screen in a second to show you mine so far, but mine right now I'm using it for all things music related and any author. There's been some author threads where everyone can kind of have that conversation and share links. You can share links. Don't spam, but you can share links with the description of, hey, purchase my book, or hey, check out my digital e-guide, or hey, watch my YouTube video, or hey, read my latest article. You can include links as well. And it has a preview. So um, start with 3 fun things about you. Like, what do you think you want to talk about? And so the other thing I want you to keep in mind is there's some half and half conversation, but again, follow your intuition, do what works for you. But some of them are like, don't come on these platforms just starting to promote your stuff, or don't come on these platforms starting to already teach people how to use thread. But I mean, this is the thing to really keep in mind as we make this shift. Like just how quickly this app is growing. It's about to this is 2 days, approaching 3 days into officially launch to the public. Again, like some people be like, wait a minute, wasn't it out beforehand? Yeah, again, they pivoted. So although it's been 2 days since it officially was released, it's approaching 50 million plus users in over probably almost all of the countries in the world right now. Um, which is huge difference, especially um, when it came to all the changes that were happening in Twitter, especially as in 2020, where there's certain countries, especially like Nigeria, who couldn't even use Twitter anymore, right? So people wanted to have that sense of banter, right? But most of them, of course, moved over to WhatsApp, which is also owned by Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and now Threads. So yeah, all right. So now I'm going to go over and just share mine, just so you can see what it looks like, right? Just so you can see what I mean of it's very simple. It's a um, simple setup. But also before I do that, since we're talking about branding and since I did mention the three most important things you should have before you set up your thread profile, definitely make sure that you check out my website guide, where I have a guide on my website where it's basically about how to really have the content set up so that you have your website and how to make sure that the handle that you choose, even if you're not going to match it, if it doesn't already match with your Instagram handle, you can change your Instagram handle. But I highly, highly recommend that you make your handle your name, not your business name, because that will change. And even I'm going through that right now. Like it's so difficult, and now I know why I need to start practicing what I preach of whatever your social media handle is. Make sure it includes your name because that's the one thing that's not going to change. But it and also in that guide is the top 5 to 7 pages that you need, which also I briefly mentioned of who you are and where people can find you, where people can follow you on social media, how you can serve them, and how they can connect with you. Um, and also keep in mind that basically because this is a free network, right? Because we've seen it all the time of these social media apps have been doing so well for so long that they're on Wall Street. They're public IPO, right? So sometimes I think that's really the biggest lowdown of what happened, where someone wants to come in and change it and just have so much power and so much political ahead be ahead politically and financially that they forget about the community aspect. So right now, um, you know, Threads, because it is a part of the Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp brand, that it's all going to be all in one thing. But right now, just use it, play around with it, get to know and see your people. Because again, how I said, like right now, there's no algorithm, there's no any kind of data kind of getting in the way of who you get to see, who follows you, because there's a feature actually also when you join where you can say yes or say no to, where you can say follow everybody who you're already following. So that's another tip I highly recommend. Make sure that you go to your Instagram account, go audit your own Instagram accounts. And if that's not something you want to spend time doing, that's also a service I offer. But go through your Instagram account and take a look at if who you're following is in aligned with where you want to be, and if um, they're still using their pages, because that also can kind of affect not just numbers but just how you see things, right? So you don't want to follow an account that really just like abandoned ship, like they're not going to use it or they may or may not come back to it. And you definitely don't want to be following accounts that are not going to make you want to enjoy the app, because that's also I think what happens too. Of you're no longer connected, right? Like the social aspect is gone because it's all about keeping up with the Joneses. So I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and begin to share my screen so that you can um, so that you can. So I'm gonna make sure I got all my tabs set up correctly. So you're probably gonna see all my tabs. Okay. Um, Okay, now I think we got this. Okay. All right, so this is my Threads account. And so, yay, I just hit 200 followers. And so that's what I was sharing with you also about basically, uh, as soon as you join, but right now it's still kind of like, instead of needing an invite to join the app, it's more like what the cool thing about it. Let me back up a little. But the cool thing about it is that when you choose the option to follow everyone who you're already following on your Instagram account, um, it will still follow the people even if they're not on Thread yet. They still leave the door open for those who do want to come in, um, come in and play around. So it's everything I pretty much imported from my Instagram account, and then this is just on the no, I think it's starting to show up on both the app version and the desktop version to go click on the Instagram profile, which for me is going to be really interesting because it's like, okay, I see them on Threads, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen your Instagram page in a minute. Let me go check you out, right? So definitely make sure that you're all set up for that, and you can copy your link to share it. You can this QR code is actually going to take you to get the app if you're ready to do that, like right here, right now. So make sure you have your name. Like for me, for my brand, it's the same handle everywhere else. My Facebook public page, my Instagram, my Twitter. Um, it's the same handle everywhere. And and so who do you serve or what do you do? And then your short help statement. And then a link tree that would take one place that would take people to everywhere for them to learn more about you in case they're getting reintroduced to you. Um, so right now you've replied to public, so just like Twitter, that started to kind of be incorporated, maybe about 2020 as well, where everything that you say, other people say too. So that's how it becomes this big old public forum where everybody can say what they want to say, and we can see it, and um, we can like it, we can comment on it, we can repost it, and well, sorry, I clicked on it. When you click repost, two options will show up: to quote, which means say what you want to say on top of what somebody else said, or just say what they said because it's like, yeah, what she said. Or you can send, again, not on the desktop version, but there's options where you can actually send a specific um, thread to an Instagram profile or Facebook. It becomes a link. But one thing that I will share is, um, I think I'm gonna stop sharing the screen to share this. But I had a I had a I had a client in 2020 who hired me to, she was getting ready to publish a book. So she wanted to grab excerpts and quotes from her book and make it tweets. And so when I, schedule out the tweets, then also the next part of it is making those tweets with a background that matches her brand colors so that she can post it on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else. And I remember saying it. I don't think she retained it because I just said it, but I remember saying to her, we won't need to be doing this much longer because there's going to be something already embedded in a social media app where we don't have to keep going from screenshotting Twitter to putting it on Instagram, and making it an image because Instagram is image based, right? This is before they added the tech feature. So I say all that to say Thread did that, right? Thread is the one that did that, where if you have something to say, the to take those words, put it on a background, and make it an Instagram image. So back to Threads. Now, so as I was saying, where because everything's public, it's like, okay, you can see everybody else's profile, and you can see all the other replies, and so it's literally like sub conversations. And so right now, I'm because I know that my likes and replies are public, I make sure that I'm only talking about things that will make people interested in who I am and what I'm interested in. Um, Especially if those, could be prospective clients on here. So I think this is maybe one of my favorite threads where like right now on a desktop version, you can read it, but that's it. Get the app, use the QR code to be able to like and reply and post. So it's like individual conversations, and then there's a sub conversation that just happened. So you click into that, and people are like, "Oh, I want to talk to you. I want to connect with you." So threads, just like your grandma would knit, it's like all those intertwined threads. So back over to my actual thread profile of this is me reposting because I agreed. We were all just kind of up, so excited, like new kids, like at their first day of school. Um, and then, like I said, I'm gonna keep it music related, and of course, Usher is trending. So, um, talking about Usher, and what's so interesting also about when it comes to branding is that I the my reason for joining Twitter. Let's see. Let me rewind a little bit. The evolution of social media, right? My reason for joining Facebook was because my best friend said so. We moved away from each other, and that was the easiest way to keep in touch. I think we didn't have cell phones at that time, so that was the easiest way to keep in touch. I joined Twitter because Usher did. He was having his concert, the OMG tour. It was my first ever concert, and I wanted to know what he's up to. Right? That's when I learned that Twitter will you can post. I think you could post photos back then on Twitter at the time that I joined, at least. And I wanted to know where he was up to. So he would post a short blurb about what city he's in and the one photo and the photo credit. Right? He would post that on Twitter. And so that would excite me, lead me to be more excited about me attending the concert how many months later. Um, why did I join Threads? Good question. I think I'm gonna circle back to Tumblr. Is what before I started to have my first international travel, I'm a writer first, right? I think Threads is also for those who are express themselves more easily through writing. And so joined Tumblr literally 10 years ago because it was that place where I could share more about my travels, the day in the life of, and I could still include my photos as well, or just say what everybody else is saying because I agree with them. And so now with Thread, it's like I said, it's all of that in one. So I choose Thread because it's all of one. I don't have to create a new login. Yes, it is another app for now, but eventually they're gonna work it into one big old app. Um, and I can say what I need to say, right? And still get that sense of community, being social, because that's the one part that I know for sure that we as entrepreneurs are missing. Now it's not because it's public, because like you said, you can see everything, and they can take that down at any point at any time. It's super important that when you make that connection, take that offline. Right now, there are no DMs. Right now, there are no DMs on Threads. But again, that's why I still connected and intertwined with the Instagram account. Make that connection, send that DM um, to get some kind of ownership of that connection, right? Let's meet each other's in person. Let's exchange phone numbers, sign up to my email list. Those are the things that are not on the platform that can shut down at any time. Um, so speaking of, make sure that's another tip that I have for you to make sure that you use Threads wisely. Make sure that you are using email marketing, and the one that I highly recommend right now is ConvertKit, because you can organize it however way you want to. They have so many templates because it's been around for also 10 years, and it's seen everything all of the creatives are doing to just make sure that okay, let's keep in touch. Should you know I really lose track of my social media account, get locked out of my social media account, or anything like that. So definitely make sure that you sign up for one if you don't already have one. But if you're interested in mine, I think if you just when you go to my website, um, when you go to my website, let me make sure I'm pressing the right buttons here. Um, I have all these buttons over here. Just go to my website, and even on there, there will be a pop-up that will take you to a email list. Now, I'm gonna tweak it a little bit now that I know that, okay, I may have people be interested in what I'm interested in music related. I may have people be interested in what I'm interested in sharing social media related, and I do have a podcast and be able to split it all up more effectively. But in the meantime, just the first box that you see, just go ahead and subscribe, and we're connected. Um, okay, I think that gives you the lay of threads. Um, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. You can connect with me on Threads. Like I said, it's also my social media handle. And yeah, just make sure that your brand is on point. s- Um, your personal brand. Like I haven't explored yet. I've seen some funny things with other food brands and whatnot joining Threads and using sense of humor. But for now, I highly recommend it for your personal brand. So really people can get a sense of who are you, right? Without verbally speaking to you. Well, they can, because you can share your videos, you can share photos, you can share text. But use it for your personal brand first, and then move it over to your brand. So that's that. And if you have any questions, definitely feel free to connect with me. And if you're ready to then make sure that you're using it effectively, make sure that you download my website guide. And I will see you next